So obviously, as many of you speculated, the report that went out earlier Saturday is now official. I'm here to announce that today that I've sold my interest in the American Hockey League franchise back to Montreal, who I purchased it from originally, effective at the end of the season. And I'm also here to announce that I've purchased the Ontario Hockey League's Belleville Bulls, and at the conclusion of this season, we'll be relocating them back to Hamilton. In the fall of 2002, I had the opportunity to get involved with a consortium of local businessmen to keep hockey alive and well here in Hamilton. After 2 seasons of less than desirable financial performance, and I took it upon myself to purchase the team outright in January of 2004 and consummate a deal that had been pending with the Montreal Canadiens, George Gillette at the time, to be the sole AHL affiliate of the Montreal Canadiens. Living and raising my family just 20 minutes away from what was once called Cobb's Coliseum, First Ontario Centre, I enjoyed the positive experience of what Bulldogs did, both on and off the ice. Promoting big league hockey and creating a positive influence in the community has been quite fulfilling for now more than a decade. And that's despite all the speculation of us leaving town and Nashville moving to Hamilton and Phoenix and even junior team coming into Hamilton. We've created something very positive here over the years, despite all that turbulence, I guess. What we were able to create is sustainable, something that's sustainable in the city, which has a history of probably of less than stellar hockey successes in terms of failed junior franchises and American Hockey League. We've won the Calder Cup in 2007. We had a day like what today looks like in 2012 with an outdoor game at Ivor Wynn. And we built a foundation that donates hundreds of thousands of dollars annually to the community. That's not easy to do. It's built on passion and a lot of hard work. But that's what I try to teach my kids, part of success, and not always necessarily in dollars and cents. I'm grateful to be part of the Hamilton landscape, especially when I go to to the schools and watch at St. Patrick's Elementary School. Kids less fortunate than us in this room getting a healthy breakfast and a snack program. And on the ice, we've been very fortunate over the years to watching the likes of Thomas Plekanec or Max Pacioretty or Carey Price or PK Subban, coaches like Guy Boucher and equipment managers like Patrick Langlois, which was our first, and yes, even play-by-play announcers Derek Wills make it to the NHL. It's been a great sense of pride for myself, and I hopefully created that same sense of pride for Hamiltonians. To me, it was inevitable that in the landscape the way the NHL is, that the NHL owns its AHL affiliate. In any event, it was part of our agreement, a purchase and sale agreement, which we signed in 2003. Despite being a partner of the Montreal Canadiens, it made sense. People will talk about the speculation of what's going to happen next. To me, it was important that the succession from a hockey perspective made sense from a development standpoint. I think St. John's is a wonderful hockey frenzy location. Glenn Stanford, who used to be the president of the Hamilton Bulldogs before Steve, is the president of the St. John's Ice Caps. He knows the standards that he'll need to keep in order to required for the Montreal Canadiens. That's a call that Montreal Canadiens took, and I certainly support it from both sides. What it did for me, it opened a window of opportunity with respect to ensuring the succession of hockey in Hamilton. You got to consider that there are a lot of cities in North America who are desirous of having elite hockey, whether it be in the NHL or in the American Hockey League or in the OHL. OHL offers the best in class in junior hockey anywhere in the world. There are only 20 franchises available. American Hockey League is 30, and it's also now half of them are owned by the NHL clubs. So it hasn't been something that's happened overnight. It's not something that I was going to wait till Montreal exercised their right to purchase the team. It was I had to seize the opportunity when I could. I've been in contact with David Branch for numerous years, and through discussions and through the cooperation of a lot of players, as you can see from the press clipping, there are a lot of moving parts happen to make this happen. What it did do is it ensured that Hamilton hockey continues in Hamilton for the future. And that was something that I committed to when people asked me what was going to happen, numerous times over the last 10 years, the future of the Hamilton Bulldogs. I feel even more comfortable and more confident today by them being the master of our own destiny that Hamilton Bulldog hockey is going to be around for many, many years to come. And the best part is that nobody's going to ask me are the Bulldogs leaving town. So that's my message to you. I certainly want to thank it's taken a lot, like I said, it's taken a lot of people to ensure the Canadians could continue to develop the prospects. I want to thank David Andrews and David Branch. This has actually happened after certain timelines were come and gone, but they understood the importance of this transaction. My partner Jeff Molson, Mark Bergeron, and the Montreal Canadiens organization, not only for the great crop of prospects that we have groomed, pun intended, with the Bulldogs over the last 11 plus years, but facilitating this relocation to ensure that Hamilton has succession going forward. I think I'm done.
We'll now open today's question and answer portion. If you have a question, please state your name and affiliation and direct your question at either Stephen or Michael.
Scott Erkner from CHC. Michael, you've always said you're committed to this city. You've been a man of your word all the way through. I guess the big question somebody might be asking out there is, why? Why are you so committed to this city, and why have you stuck it out under such rough circumstances?
My initial reaction is, why not? This is a great city. I mean, I've like I said, I lived 20 minutes away. I watched my children grow up in this area. I see the diversity of the city, both whether it be on the mountain or around the corner here. It may be because it's a bit of me in this city. I've come from pretty humble beginnings, being raised by my mom in the other side of the tracks of Montreal, to being lucky enough to be healthy and financially successful and being able to do the things that I do. I don't know. That's a great question. Sometimes you have to go with instincts, and it feels right. Thanks, Scott.
For the CHML, Michael, you've had 9, not you, but the city has had 9 other OHA or OHL teams. What's going to make this one work?
That was interesting. I actually looked it up. I was surprised. That's simple. I think I addressed it before. I think we've you don't necessarily do it for the financial reasons, and if you do, then you're in for a shock. Your return on investment's not always and even at all levels, and some markets are, but in this case, it's not necessarily the case. But I'm going to remind you that after the OHA and the OHL, there were 2 other AHL teams that came to town and scurried off, that being Vancouver and then Edmonton. So I think it can be successful because we've been successful. Not much is going to change, certainly from from the Bulldog brand, which belongs in Hamilton. So no, we're not going to be called the Hamilton Bulls. We were going to be the Hamilton Bulldogs and stay as the Hamilton Bulldogs. We've got a great minor hockey program in Hamilton, the Junior Bulldogs, in which I'm sure they're glad that it stays that way. That way they don't have to change uniforms. I think that David Branch has done and the league is a good league. I think the fact that it has a national TV deal exposes the brand. And the World Junior Championships was a perfect example of that, where I was at the ACC when we won the gold medal, and I've never heard it so loud. No NHL game resembled what I heard with guys that same age who will probably be, some of them will be playing for this team in years to come. So I think maybe the brand is a bit stronger than it was when we were here last, 25 years ago. So I feel confident. I feel real confident, actually.
Steve?
Steve Milton from SPAC. Mike, maybe these details haven't been worked out, but small things like colors. Are you going to keep the same colors? And secondly, what about the conference? I mean, it makes sense geographically to be in the opposite conference. Has that been talked about with the OHL?
Yeah, like I said, this window of opportunity came probably in around a month and a half ago. It's unbelievable what has transpired in such a short time when you consider all the moving parts of cities and leagues. Obviously scheduling becomes an issue, and I think this maybe not for the immediate year, but obviously things change. Obviously, one of our biggest rivals, I anticipate to be will be the Niagara Ice Dogs, and it'll be a good dog fight. Maybe with that, and I think I've spoken with Bill Burke, and he's a